Good afternoon, everybody. Uneducated economist here. Dice. Now, a lot of you know that I do retail sales for a living. I work at a local hardware store, do retail sales of hardware and lumber. This is my profession. Now, I have experienced quite a bit working at these hardware stores. I've worked for 3 different ones since 1995. And you can really tell a lot about what's going on by the phone calls you get, by the customer counts, what they're looking for, what they're asking for. And you can tell when there's a slowdown taking place. You can just feel it. I mean, there's times when you're so busy you don't think you can keep up, and then there's other times when you're wondering when the next sale is going to come. Well, right now there's definitely a slowdown taking place. A lot of it has to do with the lumber prices. 2x4s are selling for $10 a piece. Sheet of plywood is almost $60. These typical prices would be, $3 or like around $3 for a 2x4 and $20 for a sheet of plywood. So it would make sense that you would see a slowdown taking place as far as the retail sales of lumber and plywood. But just the customer count in general is down. And the phone calls, there was a time when I would get a lot of phone calls of people who were looking for carpenters, looking for people to do remodels, replacing doors, windows. I would imagine that a lot of these people were individuals who were flipping homes, or maybe moving into these homes and remodeling them to suit their needs for stay-at-home work, or the working at home kind of thing. So when it comes to sales, I really feel it. Like, I can tell when there is a slowdown. And I keep saying it over and over again, that if the prices of gas and, well, at least the price of gas itself continues to go up or stay elevated, that's going to be a burden on the consumer. A lot of people said this is going to cause more inflation, as the input cost, the energy cost going into the goods and services is going to drive the prices up. I agree with that. It's also going to drive down economic activity, as people will have less money to spend on those goods and services as they're putting more of it towards energy. I heard heating oil is up to almost $6 a gallon. I couldn't believe it when I heard that. So when you think about like the economic activity that has taken place because of the higher gas prices, you know that there's going to be a slowdown. And it's already starting to happen. Look at some of these companies that are offering gas cards to come shop with them. Think about that for just a second. They're offering up a gas card, like $10 to come spend out of like $100. I forget what it is, like 10%. You save 10% by doing this. Well, effectively, at the bottom line, it would be the same as if they had discounted the items. Right? They could say, hey, we're going to drop the prices because of these gas price. We're going to drop our items because the gas prices are so high. That would be a deflationary scenario, right? Because people are not buying, because they're spending all their money on gas, all of a sudden less economic activity is taking place, less items are being sold, and now the merchants are out there going, how do we sell our stuff? Well, we could either drop the prices, which we just raised the prices, so we don't really want to drop them, or we could offer up some kind of incentive. Here's some gas cards. Either way, it's the same thing. Go look at Krispy Kreme. They're actually dropping their prices and then using the excuse of how they're like, it's a gimmick. Think about it. They drop the prices and then say, hey, look, we're doing this for your benefit because the gas prices are so high. So we're going to lower our prices to help you be able to buy our product. Isn't that nice of us? It's not I mean, they could just lower their prices and say, hey, we're offering up a really good deal right now. But they're not only offering up a really good deal, but then they added that because of the gas prices. So you're being punished over here, and we're rewarding you over you're being punished over there and being rewarded over here. You see where I'm kind of getting at? It's like, it's not, it doesn't make any difference whether you say it or not. The bottom line is that you are dropping your prices. Whether they do it for just a day or they do it permanently, it was the idea that they are going to take a hit on their profits in order to get customers come to the door. That's the point. You know, I mean, I keep saying it over and over again. We're going to find a time when all this inventory, all this stuff that is sitting out there is not going to find a buyer. And in order to pay for the leases on all these warehouses, they're going to have to start acquiring money somehow. And the best way to do that is to start dropping prices. Now, I don't know exactly when this is going to take place or how it's going to take place or what it's going to look like, but offering up gift cards or dropping prices and using the excuse that we're doing this for your benefit because the gas prices are so high is a sign to me that there's less customers at the door and they're trying to draw them in. And the best way to draw them in, right? Money talks. It's always about the best price or the best reward or the benefit. Yeah. Look at the world. I mean, this is going to kind of shift gears a little bit, but I just wanted to put these links down in there too. So, but look at what's going on in the world when it comes to the bonds, the debt market. This is going to be so telling of the future. I mean, I cannot be more like adamant about the things that you should follow. Is the most important things that you should follow is the bond market. And right now, when you see the defaults taking place, like with the Russian railways, the Chinese developers, we're going to start seeing that stuff bleeding over here into the United States as well. And we're going to start hearing about corporations failing. We're going to see the interest rates rising on the U.S. Treasuries. And the difference between the U.S. Treasury and all the corporate debt out there, all the junk bonds, that spread is going to start narrowing. And people are going to look at the U.S. Treasuries as the safe haven and wonder why it is that they're taking on so much risk when they could be in the U.S. Treasuries. This is going to start creating an issue. Keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on the U.S. 10-year. This is going to be where, this is going to dictate where most interest rates go for credit cards, car loans, house loans. Wherever the 10-year goes, the direction it heads to, that's the direction of most all loans out there. So keep an eye on the U.S. 10-year Treasury and keep an eye on the sovereign debt markets around the world, especially when it comes to, places like China for sure. Russia is going to be, it's going to be very telling after Russia, what we find out what goes on there, because Russia bond defaults are almost a guarantee. And we're going to find out whether or not the credit default swaps kick in from it, because it doesn't look like they want to pay either. And if that starts a contagion, it's going to get really ugly really fast. All right. I'm going to go back to work. Uneducated economist, you guys let me know.